I'm Kathy Burks, Manager of Outreach and Student Services for TCC Connect, and I have a story to share with you. The year was about 1988 or 1999, and my position at the time was library specialist at the Southeast Campus Library. So it was the first week in August, and I was on vacation. A phone call came in that I really wanted to ignore, so I let the answering machine pick it up to screen the call. You can imagine how shocked I was when I viewed the call and I saw that it was Irma Johnson that had given me a phone call. She stated in her message that she was trying to get in touch with me because she had left a message for me at the Southeast Campus Library and I had not yet returned her call. She called the library again to try and get in touch with me and was told I was on vacation. So she decided to call me at home. She apologized for disrupting my vacation, but said she had an assignment for me and she would like for me to get in touch with her as soon as possible. You can imagine my shock, and I couldn't imagine what she might have that she wanted me to do. So as I returned the phone call, sheer terror was running through my veins. At this time in her legacy, Ms. Johnson was serving as the Associate Vice Chancellor of Human Resources. So when I returned her call, she thanked me graciously for calling her back while I was on vacation, and she wanted me to make arrangements to be at her office the next day. She had an assignment. So the next day, I showed up at the MOC and found 3 other of my colleagues there, Danelle Ellis Toops, Lou Davenport, and Eric Carrillo. Ms. Johnson told us that we had been chosen because our presidents identified us as being creative. She told us she was working on the Chancellor's Breakfast, and what she wanted from us was for us to write a skit and perform it at the Chancellor's Breakfast. She told us she wanted the skit to contain 3 things. It should contain Datatel. We were currently converting from our old system into Datatel. It must contain SACs, and it must contain something about the budget. And she wanted it to be funny. Can you imagine being charged with making her laugh? Did I mention that the Chancellor's Breakfast was in 2 weeks? How do you spell pressure? So we went to work busily writing, revising, and revising, and revising. We had about 10 days to work on it. Finally, we were ready to present it to the Chancellor in her office, well, to Ms. Johnson in her office, in a very private screening, you might say. As we began our little skit, she began to laugh. And she laughed quite heartily, even slapping her thigh a couple of times. In the end, she gave us the green light on our little comedic skit. Her obvious enjoyment and encouragement gave us the confidence to ham it up a little bit. So we prepared to make our little skit for the breakfast. When we started the skit, I was playing an enthusiastic staff member who was running between Dr. Datatel and Professor Budget, trying to get needs served for my department when all of our processes had been changed and money was tight. I could hear the audience begin to laugh, and they continued to laugh. After the performance was over, as I was leaving the breakfast, an unknown colleague stopped me on the way out, and she said, "I have been coming to these breakfasts for 20 years, and that's the funniest thing I have ever seen." And that is the day that we made Mrs. Johnson laugh.